Alright guys, welcome back to another video of Unpopular Fridays. This is where I go over unpopular opinions on Reddit every Friday, and I like to get the ones from every week. Although I got two from this week, I got one from this month because some of them weren't that good. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into the video. So the first one is white collar job salaries have fallen the most behind relative to how things used to be. A lot of professionals with at least several years of experience don't make more than 100K per year these days. These are people who have gone through 4 years of college and potentially 2 to 3 years of graduate school. That's a huge investment of time, money, and energy for jobs that ultimately don't position you to be as prosperous as the same role would have it in the past. Yeah, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I think this makes sense. One thing I find interesting is how you can make way more money than doctors, engineers, lawyers, all that stuff by just being these quote-unquote content creator, right? That's why so many people want to be them, just because you can make a lot of fucking money, which is crazy. Back then, you know, we used to have this idea of like, okay, if you want a really good house, you want a really good car, you want to be rich, all that stuff, you have to be an engineer, lawyer, doctor, all that stuff. Now it's a bit different. Now I feel like, yes, there's people who want to be doctors and all that stuff. It's funny because I feel like prices go up, but I never feel like the salaries or like the wages or annually, all that stuff goes up for like these doctors or these lawyers. And I kind of feel like maybe it does go up a little bit, but to me it just kind of seems like it's the same. One thing that's super funny to me is one of my coworkers at my work, you know, because I'm a waiter and then she's a waitress. She was actually a nurse. She was actually a nurse, but she just switched to being a waitress because she made more money. She really did. So I just think it's interesting how you still make good money for sure. You know, if you're an engineer, doctor, lawyer, all that stuff, you still make good money. I know that. I just think it's interesting how this day and age you can make more than that by just being a fucking, I don't know, like a blue collar job or just doing something. You can kind of make the same as these guys. It's just crazy. There's a lot of ways you can make money now. You can make money from, you know, being like a content creator, shaking some ass on Insta, shaking some ass on TikTok, gaming YouTuber, Bitcoin investor. Don't invest in Bitcoins. That shit's a fucking scam. All these like cryptocurrency, all that shit. I guess you can make money from it, sure, but more than not, it's a fucking scam. Collecting, you know, OnlyFans. There's a lot of ways we can make money, and I think maybe that. Because back then, you know, like if you wanted to make money, you had to, you know, they kind of put that impression of being a doctor, lawyer, mechanic, all that stuff. Nowadays, there's just so many different ways to make a lot of good money, even more money than these people with like less experience. You know, like Jinxie, this guy fucking bought a house just being a content creator, you know, being loud and all that shit, and he makes more than doctors sometimes. So it's nuts. It's crazy to me. It's interesting. It really is. The next one is too many people stay together while dating. All the relationship subs are just full of people dating with all these huge major red flags asking how they can make it work out. Dating is not marriage. Dating is a job interview for marriage or some type of long-term partnership. Not enough people realize this and feel like they have to work out every issue while dating someone, even if it's a humongous red flags like drug use, alcohol abuse, or violence. At first, I didn't understand completely what he meant. At first, I interpreted as he thinks too many people are staying together for a while. Like, that's really it. But I think he means that too many people stay together when there are clear, like, faults or big actual red flags. Because some people, you know, the red flags are fucking dumb. When there's an actual red flag, like he's abusive, she's abusive, she lies, he lies, he cheats, she cheats, all that stuff, then, yeah, dude, there's so many toxic relationships. It's crazy. There's so many, man. And I just wonder, why would you put up with that? To me, if they are a stress person, you dating someone is supposed to relieve your stress. You're supposed to always feel comfortable, always feel safe, you know? You should never feel afraid. To me, a big part of like what I look for in a relationship or what I want to do is if I make her feel afraid to like tell me something, if I ever make her feel afraid, I know I'm doing something wrong and I should stop that. And like, you should never feel afraid in a relationship. You should never feel attacked. You should never feel stressed or all that stuff. I do get it though. Sometimes you will fight, and that's in every relationship. You guys will fight. You guys will maybe not agree. I mean, that happens to all of us. We're not all perfect. I get that. But when it's something like, oh, he beats the fuck out of me, she beats the fuck out of me, she shits on my bed, shout out Amber Heard. It's like, why are you together, man? There's just so much toxic shit. It's crazy. There's this girl I know from high school, and it's funny because, oh, dude, it's like she's appreciating her boyfriend, quote unquote, right? Like she'll put like an appreciation post. She'll put like his, I don't know, his stupid cringy ass name in her bio, all that stuff. Dude, she's like 20 something. I don't know. Anyway, she puts like his name in her bio, and then afterward they fight or some shit. And she checks it off, and then she's like posting like all this stuff like, oh, men are all the same, men are fucking cheaters, men are liars. And then she gets with him. Next thing you know, I see like she's posting him again 2 weeks later. It's like, what the fuck? Like, goddamn. There's so many toxic people or toxic relationships out there, and it's crazy because some people like it. That's nuts to me. Good on you, I guess. You do you. I don't know. That's just not my thing. But I do understand what he means. Like, if you're in a toxic relationship. Also, some people are just afraid to be single. I think being single is a cool thing. I think it's a good thing. Do I want to be single forever? No, not really. But there's nothing bad about being single, too. You save a lot of money. Some people are just afraid to be alone. And I'm like, why? I think that's a really good part. I think that's really good because you get to figure yourself out. But I think that's me rambling. Anyway, I do agree it means, sometimes people stay together when there's like huge red flags, man. Like, why are you guys together? So I get that. And the last one for today is, I think that being waited on / waiters hinder the dining experience more than they help it. This is a really interesting one. I picked this one because I am a waiter. So I'm going to give my opinion on this. There is no shade to the wait staff themselves, more so just the concept of waiter. At something like a coffee shop, you simply go up to the front, order your food and drink, and then sit down at a table and enjoy it. Generally, I find this experience way more enjoyable than having to wait for someone to take your order, calling them over if you need another drink or item, getting interrupted to be asked how your food is, and then having to tip for their service when you're done. So I get where he's coming from. Sometimes it is annoying where you are maybe chatting with your friends and then the waiter comes and asks you how's your food, if you need another drink, how's everything, all that stuff. I get that you don't want to be interrupted. It's nice to just go to a coffee shop, put your order, and then chill, wait for it to come out, and then enjoy it. I get that. You don't want to be bothered while you're eating. Makes 100% sense. Although I do think, I do believe that his tune will change when it comes to a finer dining experience. When it comes to a finer dining experience, if you go to like a very fancy restaurant, I think waiters really help the situation. Maybe I'm biased when I say this, but hear me out. I think when you go to like a finer dining experience, you go and you may not know the menu. A lot of these quote unquote fancy restaurants have like these crazy words when in reality it's just like chicken strips. But if you want wine, if you want good alcohol, if you want good whiskey, just good food, it's nice to have a waiter there because they know the menu. You ask questions, they tell you which ones they think you'll like, because you're not going to know every bottle of wine there. You're not going to know every food. You're not going to know every drink, whiskey, drinks, all that stuff. It's nice to have someone there as a guide. I think servers are just a guide, right? Also, I think an experienced server will never do this in a way, kind of interrupt you per se. The way I serve people is I give them their drinks, I get their order, I give them their drinks, and after they get their food, I never bother them. I don't really talk to them. I just kind of come over, make sure they're okay, and then I just kind of wait for them to ask for me for something. That's really it. If they need something, they can ask me. I'll be there, always in eye shot view. And yeah, I try not to interrupt them. I think a waiter that's always like, how's everything is a bad waiter. I don't think you should do that. But hey, maybe people serve differently than I do. But I do get what he means. I think this is a little bit different when it comes to a finer dining experience because it's nice to have someone there to help. And, some waiters have really bubbly personalities. It's nice to talk to someone, especially if you go alone to like a bar. Sometimes they want to talk to the hot-ass bartender or whatever. Or sometimes they just want to go have a nice meal by themselves. And it's just good to have someone there just checking up on them, making sure everything's okay, cool. Also, I think family gatherings is great as well. You go to a big restaurant. It's kind of hard to manage all the drinks and the orders for everyone, right? So you have the waiter do it. The waiter's doing all that stuff. He's bringing you all the drinks. He's not interrupting per se. You guys, the waiter's there to like, take care of the big group. So it's better to have that rather than you talking with your whole family. You go into, I guess, the coffee barista to order another drink. It's nice to just tell the waiter what you want and be like, all right, I'll be right back with that. When it comes to finer dying, goddamn, I keep saying dying. When it comes to finer dining, I think it's a good place to have a waiter. But maybe that is a little biased because it is from me, but that's just how I see it. These are always my opinion. Anyway, that's really it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.